Assalamualaikum to my respected lecturer. I'm Muhammad Amirul bin Amir Mahmud. My metric number 2018-216-526. I am here to defend my proposal. My research title is The Relationship Between Physical Activity Participation and Depression Among Youth in Malaysia. Let me move to background of the study. According to Condola et al., 2019, depression is pervasive condition of mental health that can have a serious effect of individual well-being and everyday life. Depression affects about 300 million individuals, according to the World Health Organization (WHO), and is now the leading cause of disability worldwide. Across the Asia-Pacific region, with a median of 3.7%, the lifetime rate of development depression ranged from 1.1 to 19.9%, from Matt Pervez bin Yusuf Izzuddin 2018. According to Sebastian Eriksson and Gunvor Gard 2018, physical exercise can be an effective treatment against depressions. A mood-enhancing effect of exercise was identified in the interventions regardless of the mechanism of action. Next is statement of the problems. Physical activity steadily declines from childhood to adolescence. However, the prevalence of inactivity in previous research among Malaysia children rose from 35% to 57% between 2011 and 2014, and the statistic for the physical activity among Malaysian children was inadequate. This by Latifah Abdul Latif, Israt Tazik, 2016. According to Malanoro Z et al. 2015, despite the proven advantage of daily physical exercise from physical and mental health effects, a substantial proportion of the population in the US, Europe, and Malaysia are not involved in adequate physical activity to obtain the benefit of health because they either are not healthy enough or are not sedentary. However, people in Malaysia are insufficiently healthy to benefit from daily physical exercise health benefits but still prefer to live sedentarily, by Mawar Siti Hajar et al. 2019. Anxiety and disorders of depression are one of today's mental health challenge and have a growing effect. According to the World Health Organization, to WHO, the proportion of such disabilities is predicted to increase fast in the disability adjusted life year dailies, which is projected to rise second over the next couple of years by 2030. Sebastian Eriksson and Gunvor Gard, 2018. Let's move to the next point, that is research objective. I will explain the research objective of my study. There are three research objectives stated in my study. The first one is to determine the effect of physical activity participation and depression on among youth in Malaysia. The second objective is to investigate the relationship between physical activity participation and depression of youth in Malaysia. Last but not least, to identify the level of physical activity participation and depression among youth in Malaysia. In the significance of the study, it will give the benefit to two organizations, which is UiTM Seremban Sport Management and Youth in Malaysia. This study can help to gain the information needed for the UITM sport management to identify and determine the relationship between physical activity participation and depression on of youth in Malaysia. It also benefits the sport organization to improve their strategy and achieve their goal. Next, the information in this study can help and give awareness to the other management department in other higher education institutions to develop ideas and strategies to improve the students' engagement towards sport activities in their university organization for youth in Malaysia. For the literature review, I split into two sections, that is my independent variable and dependent variable. For the first section is physical activity participation, that is my independent variable. According to Cambridge Dictionary, physical activity also defines as any bodily movement produced by skeletal muscles that requires energy expenditure, including activities undertaken while working, playing, carrying out household chores, traveling, and others. Physical activity is consistently reported as having antidepressant effects, such et al. 2018. Physical activity refers to any bodily movement by the skeletal muscle that requires energy expenditure. Kasperson's 1985. Physical activity can treat and prevent depressive symptoms, but its antidepressant mechanisms are yet to be established. In this review, we comprehensively assess key biological and psychosocial mechanisms through which physical activity exerts antidepressant effects, with a particular focus on exercise. Joshua 2019. For the second section is depression. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, depression affects around 300 million people and is now the leading cause of disability worldwide. WHO 2017. Depression is a complex condition. Its heterogeneity is exemplified by the fact that two people can be diagnosed with depression and not share a single symptom. Fried and Nethe 2015. Depression on may be a primary psychological condition, or it may be a secondary psychological disorder. Symptomatic of a primary psychological disorder, there are two major types of depression, which is persistent depression and prenatal depressions. Next, in the literature review, there is research framework. In research framework, it's the same with my literature review, that is spread into two sections. First section is physical activity participation. In this section, that have type of activity, frequency of performing activity, duration of performing activity, intensity of performing activity, and benefits of physical activity. Second section is depression, that included major depression, persistent depression, and perinatal depression. Let's move to the next point, that is methodology. There are many sections in this point. Let me move one by one for this section. For the first section is research design. I just use three research design. That is questionnaire distributions, correlational research design, and descriptive study. Second section is sampling. The target population for this study is the youth in Malaysia. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia official website, January 2020, the total number of youth in Malaysia is 4,395,000 people. According to Krejci and Morgan, 1970, my total sample is 480 people after added 20%. Next, let me move to another section, that is sampling technique. I just use the simple random sampling that under probability sampling. Why I use the simple random sampling technique? This is because the simple random sampling are the common researcher use to get their respondent. And also I get it in previous journal. It's also I see the sampling technique are suitable for my research. Let me move to the next section in methodology. It is instrumentation. Depressive symptom scale, which was derived from the Hopkins Symptom Checklist on Data Survey 2017. Questionnaires adopted from a study conducted by Klepang 2018. For the question in questionnaire, it consists of 3 sections. For section A, I was asked for their demographic. It included 6 items that is about gender, age, race, nationality, occupational sector, and marital status. In section B, it's about physical activity participation, included 8 items. Last sections is section C on depression symptoms that include 6 items. Crossbench alpha was measured a single self-report item, with possible scores ranging from 0 is normal to 6 is total gait disability, and has high test-retest reliability are equal to 0.9. Next section is data collection procedure that have 5 steps for the data collection procedure. Firstly, I get permission from UITM transformation units to gather the data needed. Secondly, I make sure the questionnaire have valid Crossbench alpha. Run pilot tests to verify the validity of this questionnaire. Thirdly, I refer and get the permission from my supervisor to proceed the topic of the study. Fourthly, I distribute the questionnaire via Google Form to the respondent. And lastly, I review the questionnaire answered by the respondent and gather data for evaluation. Next, for data analysis, I just use 2 concepts, that is descriptive analysis and correlation analysis. And I convert my data into statistical package for social science. This is SPSS version 26. I'm aligning my data analysis with research objective. That is my first research objective with descriptive analysis, and my second research objective with correlation analysis. This is the last point for this slide. This is reference. This is reference from this slide. That's all from me. Thank you. Any questions you can state in private comment.